We've got codes in different area codes. Area codes get on code. Get on code in different areas. The four people that I see. All right, so I told you guys that I was going to be having a special guest, and basically, um, when I am in a situation where, can you guys hear me, or should I turn the music down? I'm gonna turn the music off eventually. Um, but sometimes we get to a place where we're like, man, we want to have our own business, we want to do our own thing, and sometimes we need encouragement. I know me personally, I'm always looking to connect with people that can encourage me, that can help me, people that I can pull from, or people that can pull from me, or whatever like that. I'm always looking for connections like that, and so this guy, I mean, he is just so amazing. I always kind of chop it up with him about, what it took for him to leave, because he once upon a time worked in corporate America. And he decided, what, this is not for me. I need to do my own thing. I need to make my own schedule. And so that's what he did. So for me, it's important that I connect with people that can encourage me, that can guide me in the right directions. And now, I personally have, several people that I connect with on that tip. However, people are busy. People are doing their own thing. They're running their own lives and businesses. So you can't always get the time that is needed to get with these people or to connect with these people as often as you may want. So it's good to have a good database of people who you can connect with and people who you can trust, people who you can just kind of be yourself and kind of, chop it up and just chop up some game. So with all of that being said, I will go ahead, and I'm sweating because I got the lights on. But with all of that being said, I'll go ahead and see if we can get him on here. Where are you? Okay, I see you. So let me see. Actually, I think you have to send me. Can you send me? Send me. Let me see if I can add. It's not allowing me to add you. Hold on, let me see. Okay, wait. Let me add you. Give me 1 second. Okay, I see you. So I just sent you an invite. Let me know when you get it. Let me know when you get it. I just sent you an invite so that you can come on, so that people can see you, and I'll give you a some time to let everybody know what it is that you do. Let me see if it went through. I'll send another one. Let me go through the whole shebang again. So if you guys are watching, you should see my guest. I told you guys that I was going to be bringing a young man on as a special guest because I'll reiterate what I said. So earlier I was talking about how um, I'm gonna go ahead and can you see the you on the other live? Because I have two lives going. Can you see yourself on the other live?
No, I can see you on one.
Just one?
I just got one going on. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop this one, and then I'll just continue with this one, so people won't be
All
confused. So just hold on.
all
Give me
right.
1 second. Let me push finish. Okay, and then I'm gonna delete that. Okay, perfect. All right. Um, can you guys see me? Okay. All right. Perfect. Now, let me go back to. Okay. All right. So perfect. Okay, so I told you guys that I was going to have a special guest on, and I also explained that how, like, one of the reasons that that I believe in having, connecting with really good people, people that can encourage you, people that are in a place that you want to possibly get to, or maybe even succeed. I was talking about how important it is to connect with those people, to, bond with those people, to network so that you can get to know those people. And in doing so, I was able to come in contact with somebody who I think the gentleman that you guys see on the screen, Chipuke, who I think is just an amazing person. He has a lot of really good information. And so we've chopped it up on several occasions about business, about, stocks, about, politics. I mean, all types of topics. But today's topic is going to be what he did to start his business, the steps that he went through. We're also going to talk about the health behind the business. We're going to talk about how, you have to be a healthy person to start a business. And a lot of people don't see that, and a lot of people don't talk about that. And I thought, since that's what his business is kind of surrounded around, I thought it would be a really good idea. So we're going to also talk about that. And then we're going to talk about, because I know you guys, y'all kind of like the relationship talks and stuff. So we're also going to talk about the relationship end of that, and how men of means, a person who has a business and he's doing things to grow his business, and he's single and unmarried, no kids, all of that. A man with his mind frame, what they believe, what they think about relationships and business. So with further ado, I know that was a long introduction, but with further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce my guest. His name is Chipuke Oparas. Did I say that correctly? Because I be struggling.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Okay. So, starting out, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself. Tell us about what you do. Tell us about your business. Tell us, whatever you want us to know. And just kind of give us a little intro.
All right. First, first and foremost, I want to thank you all, for having me on this platform. I want to thank Nicole and everybody, for the patience dealing with the technical difficulties. Like she said, my name is Chibiko Apar. I was born in Nigeria, grew up in the States when I was 9 years old. Went to school at University of Washington. After I left school, I started working in a couple different jobs. I started selling insurance, worked at Home Depot. But I knew, as a black man, I had to be, in charge of my own destiny. I felt like the corporate world wasn't the right fit for me. So while I was working, I was saving about 60% of whatever money I was making. I was putting that aside. And I started investing around 2010. And I got lucky because the year before that, the market crashed and all the stocks were pretty cheap. So I loaded up on them. So it got to the point where the dividends that I was making from the investments, matched what I was making working. So I decided, instead of fighting with management every day over nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to go out and build my own. And basically, she kind of mentioned that my business is about promoting financial and health wellness,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe those two areas is where our community needs help the most.
Okay. And so, I know we kind of talked about, like, um, how important it is to network and to put yourself out there and to get in contact with the right people. Can you tell us, like, what you did and how that went for you?
Oh yeah, definitely. To be honest with you, college was good, but I felt the best information that I received was after college, dealing with people that's already been where that I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important to, like, find the right people that's been where you want to go. And I understand everybody don't have access to mentors. So the other alternative is to make sure you get your hand on reading a lot of books.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stress that enough. Reading books, helped change my life pretty much.
Absolutely. I'm definitely an
Yeah.
avid reader. I read a lot of books all the time. And man, I can tell you that reading definitely changed my perspective on things. And it has definitely done a lot. And I think that as Black people, I really don't think that we read a lot. Um,
That's
I
right.
can only speak from my personal experience. I can only speak from the people that I've come in contact with. But when I talk to people and we're kind of engaging in conversations, I'm always asking them, like, what are what are you reading, or what are what are you doing? Where do you get your information from? What are you studying and stuff like that? And it's kind of like, oh, well, I just kind of watch YouTube videos, or I do this, and that's all cool. But sometimes you need to pick up a book, because there are very, very valuable things inside of books. And
That's right.
I want to kind of piggyback off of what you said. One of the key things that you said was, you got with mentors, people who you could glean from, and people who you can kind of pick up game from, and how that was important to helping you start. Which brings me to my next question. So, like, what exactly, like, when you decided that this was it, I don't want to do the corporate America thing, I kind of want to do my own thing, was it any fear in that, or how did you prepare yourself to make that decision? Did you save, or what did you do to make that decision?
Yeah, like we talked about before, it's about making sacrifices,
Mm-hmm.
For example, like in order to have, in order to invest, you got to have money to start, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what job you have, it's basically about saving your money,
Mm-hmm.
in order to be able to invest. So that was the key part of it, put money aside to invest. And that means that, that means you might not go to clubs as much as you want to, or buy those new pair of Jordans, or all that. You just got to have the big picture in mind.
Right.
Know that you have to sacrifice some things in order to get something bigger later on.
Right. Right. And you
Yeah.
spoke a little bit about, like, how when you decided that you wanted to start your own thing, the question came up, well, how am I going to take care of myself? How am I going to provide for myself while I make this transition? And so you kind of went into how before then, you bought into some stocks in 2009. And so the dividends from those you were able to, live off of that while you were continue to build your business. Can you tell us a little bit about that and kind of go into detail about that?
Yeah. What the first thing is, before you invest in anything, whether it's stocks, real estate, or even cryptocurrencies currently, you want to make sure that you get educated, that you know what you're getting into. Because with any business, there's risk involved. I want to just stress that,
Mm-hmm.
So just make sure that you get educated. So, because it's not risky, it's not risk if you know what you're doing.
Right.
So once you educate yourself, then you're able to move confidently, in making those investments.
So it almost sounds like you're saying that before you leave your job.
Before I even started investing and all that, I invested in myself first, and by that I meant investing in knowledge. Reading books, because that knowledge is really the best investment you can make, because everybody can take all the money from you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's in here, nobody can take that from you. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And then you can just take
So
what's
you
in
have to,
here and go make that money back.
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it almost sounds like you're saying, like, before you leave, you got to have a plan. Like, you got to have a solid plan. You can't just leave with an airhead and you don't know what to do. You have to have a plan.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. So, may I ask your age?
Yeah, I'm 31.
31. So you're still pretty young. And how
Yep,
how
yep.
long have you had your business?
I've been running it for about 3 years now.
Okay.
But I originally started investing it around 2010. So I've been investing for about 7 years now.
So you've been investing in your business for about 7 years. However,
Yeah.
you actually have been
Oh,
running it for three. It's been afloat for three.
yeah.
Okay. And you know what they say? They say that it's a business is quote unquote deemed successful after you've reached that 5 year mark. What do you think about that?
Right, right.
Is that a mark that you're trying to reach, or what do you think about that?
It kind of depends on the kind of business it is. For example, the business that I'm running, my business model is I give out, like, for example, on my website, opowers.com,
Mm-hmm.
you can sign up for free and get, weekly tips, financial and health tips to help you get in the best shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also, I also have some different products that I sell as well. So it's basically, it will never be out of business as long as I can promote and market and sell. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on your ability to sell. You're only out of business when you quit selling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you can sell, you can be in business. So that's another thing. Anybody that wants to start a business needs to learn how to sell, because that's one of the big key factors, in order to be a business.
Mm-hmm.
You
Absolutely.
you have to know how to sell.
You got to know how to
Yeah,
sell yourself as well as your business,
exactly.
because people, you can have the best business in the world, but if nobody likes you because you got a stank attitude, or every time you come in contact with people they just get a bad vibe from you, they're not going to want to do
Yeah,
business with you. They're not going to want to patronize your business. So I always say you kind of have to have somewhat of a personality, unless you like in a tech industry or something like that, where you don't have to be around people. But in your business and
yeah,
a lot of other businesses, you have to be around people. You got to know how to talk to people. You got to know, even if y'all don't necessarily agree on certain things, or you have a difference of opinions on certain things, you still have to know how to just do business with people, and
that's right.
know how to uh, talk to those people, and know how to uh, know when it's like BS, and know when it's something that you can use. I think I used the
That's,
analogy earlier where I said, you got to know how to take the meat and leave the bones.
that's right.
Right. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Um, Another question that I had: what time do you wake up every morning? Because this is something that everybody asks.
I first off, I don't recommend everybody do what I do, because I operate on 4 hours of sleep. So, and I know you're supposed to get 8 hours and all that, right? But personally, I'm excited. I love what I do. So I'm excited. I'm always, it keeps me up,
Okay. So
and
what?
I can't wait to get out of bed. So I get about 4 hours of sleep.
Okay,
On the
that's not
weekends,
nice.
on the weekends, I might get 8, but during the weekdays, I don't have a problem getting up around 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning and start reading, and then start working.
Okay. So you.
And another thing about it, when you're working for yourself, even though you're putting in more hours,
Mhm.
right? It doesn't really feel like work.
Okay.
It feels like you're just having fun.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So you did say that you woke up. I just wanted to point out that you woke up early. That's what I wanted to point out,
yeah,
because a lot of times people think, to include myself, when I was younger, once upon a time, I used to think, man, I want to do my own thing. I want to have my own business. I can wake up, at 9 o'clock. No, 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 no.
no,
uh what they say, that the early bird gets the worm. You still have to wake up early. You still have to wake up with that go-getter mentality. The difference is that the go-getter mentality is towards something that belongs to you, something that can only help you, and you're even more,
that's true.
you want to do it because you know that you gotta eat. That's your livelihood.
And, and you don't really have to go to the extreme. Even if you're only waking up extra half hour
Mm-hmm.
early every day, by the time the year is over, that half hour, compounds,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna be, far ahead. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really have to go to the extreme. Just getting up a little, like half hour earlier than you normally do.
Mm-hmm.
That goes a long way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Um, what other questions that I have? I know you said that you are from Houston. You grew up in Houston, but you were born.
No, I was born in Nigeria,
Okay.
and then grew up. I have relatives in Houston, but I grew up in Washington State.
Oh,
It's
okay.
close to, yeah, near Seattle.
Okay.
So that's where,
Okay.
yeah, that's where I went to school out there. That's where I grew up.
Okay. 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 And do you think that the different areas kind of has somewhat to do with your business and how you run your business? Like the different
It
people?
comes it comes to being able to adapt. That's every culture is different no matter where you go. So the people that are able to adapt, they're able to like succeed a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
And you
That doesn't mean that doesn't mean you have to change who you are, but just adapting the way you deal with people from different cultures. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
and you had to
Yeah.
move from the southern part of the states to the northern part.
Right. Right.
Right. So sometimes it takes even sacrificing in that, because I know once upon a time, me, I didn't want to move. I was not, no, 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 no. Moving was not an option. But when you are, you know, when you want to do a business and you feel like a certain area would be better off, then you just have to make that sacrifice. Am I right by saying, is that what you did?
No, no, you're right. The environment that you're in, plays a big part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you're in an area that you feel that you don't have the right mentors in that area, and you feel like if you have to travel to go get it,
Mm-hmm.
you just got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Right, right.
Yeah.
How important is it to invest in your business? Like when you make a profit, how important is it to put some of that profit back into yourself or your business?
Especially in the early stages, it's very vital that you put whether it's for promotion, for marketing, for everything. It's vital that you put everything back in your business
Mm-hmm.
till it can stand on its own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, it takes about 5 years, right, for a business to establish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in those early stages, it's important that you invest in your business.
Okay. 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 Um, what are some of the things that you did when you invested in your business? I know you spoke about advertisement. What other things that you
Another thing is when a lot of people think about starting a business, right?
mm-hmm.
They're a one man team. They think they can do everything by themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you can grow a big business doing everything on your own. So a big thing that I was doing was I was networking and working with other talented people. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For example, on my business, the entertainment side, I work with a lot of artists to bring some lyrical content that will empower our community. Instead of like the garbage
Mm-hmm.
you listen with hip hop telling you blow blow your money. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So it's important to like work with other talented people.
I like that. Like I like
Yeah.
how you just said that, not only did you invest in your business, but one of the investments that you made in your business was the type of
Was
entertainment that you wanted to put out. You wanted to make sure that, okay, well, you got a lot of
exactly.
out there telling kids to just blow their money, oh, live the good life. But when you decided to invest in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
business, you said, you know what? I'm going to invest in my business, but I'm also going to invest in somebody else for some really good, solid lyrical content.
Exactly. Yeah, because there's a lot of talent out there. When you network,
Mm-hmm.
especially, I don't get on social media much because I'm the kind of person I like dealing with people face to face. So
You like,
however way, yeah, however way you want to network, there's a lot of talented people, whether it's on social media, whether it's on the streets or wherever.
yeah,
It's good to collaborate with other people because you can't do everything on your own.
right.
No matter how smart you think you are, I don't buy it that you can build a big business on your own.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. So then that brings me to my next question. How important is it when you do decide to bring other people on or to do business with other people? How important is it that screen those people? Because I think you said it before. It's like business can be like a marriage. Like getting in business with the wrong person can cost.
oh, that's true. Like you said, a lot of it is gut feeling. Like sometimes your gut feeling can tell you if it's right or not.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, what I look at is people's actions. Like they might say one thing and do another thing, but I make my decision based on the actions that they take. You see what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
So
And for there's new people that steady coming on, so I want to continue to reintroduce yourself so that the people that are coming on, they know who you are, because some people come on and they just listen and they don't even know what's going on. So I want to just give you an opportunity to let everybody know who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there.
Hi, my name is Chibike Opara. I'm the founder of Oparas. My website is oparas.com.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my business is based on promoting financial and health wellness, to help empower our community.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very
And
much.
yeah,
Um, so this brings me to my next question. What would you say are five essential things that you would need to just start?
the first thing, you got to have that desire.
Okay.
It starts with desire,
Mm-hmm.
then you got to be focused,
Focus.
and then you got to be willing to learn new because things change, technology change. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
be hungry to learn as well. And then four, you got to work with like other talented people.
So what that networking?
You got to network, yeah, and have a really strong team.
Uh-huh.
And then the fifth one would be, which ones did I say? I said
You said desire, focus,
desire.
willing to learn, networking, and I think the other one you spoke on a little bit where you was talking about sell yourself.
Oh yeah, and then yeah, the last one was you have to learn how to sell because if you have all the best products in the world and the best ideas, if nobody knows about it, then the ideas, is really not any value to anybody. So you got to be able to sell and market your products. That's the main thing.
Absolutely. And so I'm still looking at you and I'm also looking over here to see if I can see any of the comments. But I can't see the comments. That's weird. Um, and I'm not sure why they won't let me see them. Oh, okay, never mind. I see them. So also, um, when you said focus, like give us some examples that are something that worked for you when you had to be focused on the business.
I hate to say this, but sometimes we got to get off Facebook for a little bit.
No, say it, because you're telling the truth.
No, no, that's real. Like it's good to like get on Facebook now and then, but I think what happens is sometimes when people get on Facebook to maybe check their feeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
They end up spending more time they wanted to allocate to it. You know what I'm saying? So all that wasted time is time that you could spend building your own. Because when you're on Facebook, you're making Mark Zuckerberg rich. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so that's what I'm saying. So if we cut some time off social media and building our own,
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna be better off.
Okay. Okay. All right.
That's what I mean. Because when you're on social media, there's a lot of things just pouring in.
Right. Right.
So you got to be disciplined to know what you want to take in and then what you want to leave out.
Right. And the other thing that you said was willing to learn. Now, man, that to me, that's a
Exactly.
big major one, especially for me. I'm a Sagittarius, and I don't believe in like signs and all that. But one thing that they say that is about Sagittarius is that we think we know it all, and that is so true. And it took me a while to really see that within myself, and so
Right, right.
sometimes you think you know it all and you think that you don't need to learn from somebody else. So you think that you don't need to hear what somebody else may have to say. And so can you kind of give us a little bit about when you say willing to learn, what you mean about that?
Yeah, there's a saying that goes, the more you learn, the more you know that you don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once you feel like you know it all, then you can't really grow because what's the point to learn something new if you feel that you know it all, right?
Right.
Me personally, I know that there's a lot that I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter where I'm at in life, I feel like there's always something new to learn. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And there's been a lot of smart people in this world that's written books. So you can always pick up knowledge, even if you're not able to talk to them in person. You can soak up their knowledge from their books, or even watching YouTube, podcasts.
Absolutely.
So it's very important to keep learning because, as you know, the world is changing. We can't be stuck in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to keep learning to keep up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you also spoke on networking. Kind of go
Yep.
into detail with the networking. Like, what did you do? What are some of the things that you did that was as it relates to networking that worked for you?
Me, like for example, I believe that everybody has the potential to be their own business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no matter wherever I leave the house, I always make sure I have maybe like a business card on me because you never know who you're gonna meet. You know, like
Right.
you might not get a call back from everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you put yourself out there enough, eventually doors is gonna open. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Okay. And so just making sure you have business cards on you.
go to different, find out different events in your city wherever you at.
Mm-hmm.
Try to find like-minded people
Mm-hmm.
to soak up, knowledge from them. Sharing knowledge.
Mm-hmm. So,
And I was fortunate. I was fortunate where I'm at. One of the guys that helped me build my website,
mm-hmm.
he has a lot of. He's very smart, and technology side of things kind of took up to another level once I got in contact with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean by networking, because you never know. Just looking at people, you never know what skills they have. You see what I'm saying? Until
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, you get to really.
Absolutely. So it brings me to my next question. You said sell yourself. And we kind of talked a little bit about that earlier where you said sell yourself and then sell the business. So, like what are some ways that has worked for you? What did you do?
The first thing is health. We kind of measured it first because being the pretty much you're the billboard of your business, you're a representation of your billboard,
I
right?
like that. You're the
So
billboard
so
of
in
your
order to run a
business.
business, so in order to build a business, you have to have energy. So I felt that being healthy was the first thing. I had to make sure that I got my health right.
I'm writing what you said down. You are the billboard of your business. I love that. I think that is a
Yeah, yeah.
wonderful quote. That's why I'm writing it down. So, the health thing. Now we kind of talked about that before, where I know you are a very in shape guy. I mean, you work out, you have a really good physique. And so obviously we know that you work out and you're really into your health.
Just a little bit.
Oh no, you work out a lot. We can tell. But um how important is working out? How important is eating the right things or not eating some things? Or, you can eat what you want, but still being able to not eat certain things. How important is that as it relates to business?
It's very important because it helps your mindset. I'll be first to admit my diet isn't perfect.
Me too.
I will eat junk.
Mine's too.
Yeah, I eat junk every now and then, but I make sure that I work out, at least 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes more. It's more like a habit kind of thing. It's a habit that I've had since high school. So when I don't do it, I don't feel right. You see what I'm saying? So it's more like a habit, and it's the right habit to form, early.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so,
And I know working out helps me with business because when you're running a business, you know that there's a lot of stress involved. And to be able to last, you have to have energy, right?
mm-hmm.
So working out gives you that edge over somebody that doesn't work out.
Right, 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 right. Okay.
And you don't have to make working out complicated because a lot of people think you have to get all these fancy shoes, drive to the gym, and all that. You don't need all that. Most of the time, I work out outside or at the house. You can go to the track, run a couple laps. You could do push-ups at home. You could do sit-ups right now wherever you at.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to be at the gym to get in good shape. So
So
I think if we just keep this.
So it almost
No,
sounds
go ahead.
it almost sounds like, you know, as a business owner, you know the importance of having to work out because you know the importance of like the stress that you run into. Maybe, a lot of people that own businesses, they don't never really they're not at home to eat with how they would like
And
to.
a lot of times,
So they gain a lot of weight.
yeah.
So it sounds like you know how paralleled owning a business, running a successful business, and working out is to each other.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because personally, I don't have a lot of time during the day to say I'm gonna go to the gym and spend 1 or 2 hours,
Right.
right? So a lot of things, you can do like wherever you at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Man,
and it's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, like I said, we just want to keep it simple. You don't have to go to the extreme. Just start out small wherever you at, and then build on from there.
Right, right, right. Um, okay, so that brings me to my next our next topic, since we're already kind of sort of on the health topic, um, and how health and business go together. So when it comes to like traveling, because I know you do some traveling with your business, it comes to maybe even presenting yourself or trying to sell yourself. So that comes with its health, or physical. You have to be kind of physically prepared for that. Can you kind of give us a little bit about that? Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. Like you said, we kind of touched on it earlier. Like it's about having the energy. For example, if you're traveling from different cities, maybe giving a speech or something, you have to have energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have energy, you're not gonna last very long. And it's not just about doing it for one day. You have to do this 365.
Yeah.
So being in shape really helps you out in life, not just about business, but in life in general.
Mm-hmm.
Being in decent physical condition helps you out a lot.
So let me ask you this:
May-
how many hours would you say you put into your business a week? So you have your 40 hours. People generally work 40
oh, it's a
hours.
lot more.
A lot more.
I would say 16 hours a day,
Are you
at least 16 or 18
serious?
hours a day. Yeah, yeah, because one thing you don't realize when you're in business, like even if you're not quote unquote working, right, you're thinking about it and coming up with different ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say like about 16 hours. It might be different for somebody else, but I'm saying like if you love it, it's on your mind all the time.
So it almost sounds
I would say
like you're working all the time. Like you never really.
but it's not work. I wouldn't consider it work though. I mean, you work longer than you would have if you're working for somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this one, you in charge of it. Like you have the responsibility of the health of the business, right?
Right.
So if you're working for somebody else is signing the check. All you worried about is go clock in and you clock out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in charge, you got to make sure that every decision that you make, is benefiting the business. That's what I mean. It's constantly on your mind.
Right.
It's not a it's not a 40-hour thing where you just clock in and you clock out. It's almost like a 24-hour kind of thing. And that's why I don't feel business is for everybody. Like you don't quote unquote have to,
Mm-hmm.
have a bit. It's not for everybody.
Right.
But the rewards is worth it, in the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um. So also, I know I wanted to get into a little bit about the relationship and business side of things, because I gotta ask, because
All right.
there are people who like myself, I kind of got a little gamed up, some years back about how it works. But there are people that don't know. There are people maybe, they forgot or something like that. So I kind of wanted to go over it because,
All right.
you got women who are, some females, some women, they may look at you and say, hey, this is a nice African American man, young man. He, has a business, a successful business thus far, hardworking, no kids, and they may be thinking, well, how can, what kind of sisters are you checking for? What kind of females are you checking for? And so, kind of want your perspective on a man who has all of your characteristics, skills, qualities. Like, what would you be looking for as a person, as a, a business owner, an entrepreneur who, have a lot to lose if you choose the wrong woman?
Well, that's very true. But I like to keep things simple. It's basically you can kind of tell. if you guys are a good fit or not. To be honest,
How?
you could kind of tell after, huh?
How could you tell? Let us know.
You could kind of tell just based on, the conversations you guys have, if you guys connect.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I will stress though, me personally, I like a woman that's, somewhat ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have to be like in the business like me 100% all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she kind of understand a little bit what it takes. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody basically that you don't have time for like petty arguments and none of
Mm.
that, nonsense.
Bam. Petty arguments.
Yeah, no time for petty arguments.
Right. I mean,
Just somebody you can like build with, somebody you can build with.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
And you can kind of tell. I feel like you could kind of tell a little bit if it's the right person.
mm-hmm.
I think deep down, honestly, when we get involved with the wrong person, we know it.
Okay.
Maybe
How
we're in
soon?
it for other reasons. Maybe we're in it for like maybe the sex is good or some other reasons. We stay on. But I think in general, for the most part, we know if we're involved with the right person or not.
Okay. So let me ask you this. As a single man, no kids, business owner, seems like you're doing well for yourself. Um, would you date or even go further than dating a woman with 3 kids or 4 kids or just a lot of kids?
Oh, it kind of depends. Me personally, to tell you the honest truth, it wouldn't be my first choice to be honest with you.
Thank you for
But
your
then
honesty.
again, it depends on the circumstances. If it's maybe if all those kids were from the same guy or different guys.
So like if
It
she
lets
had
you
been
know the kind
married
of mentality.
before and got a divorce or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. But not like where it was a
So it
situation where
just
it was several different men.
yeah, it just kind of depends on who it just kind of depends. But preferably the first, it wouldn't be my first option.
I'm glad you
And that's
said that.
just being
Those are
straight up
those
with
are
you.
really good key
Yeah,
words because when you really think about it, business, relationships, health, they all go together. They all go together.
right, right.
All three go together. And I think sometimes, you know, people tend to think that, oh, well, I can run this successful business, but be crazy about chasing down women or crazy about chasing men. No, you can't. Sometimes you have to put stuff like that on the back burner. Especially, a person like you, a person who owns a business, a person. Obviously, you want your business to grow. I mean, there are certain things that
But
come before.
I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm not perfect though.
Of course, you're
Like
not.
everybody have the everybody have their vices, right? But the thing is, you got to have the big picture in mind, and not jeopardize that. I think that's the key thing.
Right. But so that
Having
kind
the
of goes
big
back.
picture in mind.
That kind of goes
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to choosing. How important it is to
Right, right.
choose the right woman, because if you don't, then
It's vital.
you can end up in a situation where you fighting over your own business that she never even put 2 cents in.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. Yeah, you're right.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
And another thing that I wanted to ask you was, as it relates to, you said you like ambition. So as a business owner, as a person who runs your own business, and you're unmarried and all of that, a woman with ambition, how can a woman with ambition help you or help the business, or does she need to help? What is your perspective on that?
Of course, if you have two people working together on the same goal, the outcome 99% of the time is going to be better than if it's just one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically, if you have somebody on the same page, working towards the same goals, I think you're going to be better off than you were, otherwise.
Right, right.
But then again, but then again, sometimes you don't want to rush into things. Sometimes it's better to be single than get involved with the wrong person. Like you don't want to be chasing. Like
Right, right,
when you start chasing, you can find the wrong things. You see what I'm saying?
right, right.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's at the end of the day, it's a teamwork. When you do
yeah.
um find the right person, and you still trying to run a business, and you're trying to grow your business, and you want to bring this person on as potentially on, they're gonna have to know how to do that as well. So it really comes down to, it being teamwork. You have to work as a team, and
Exactly.
somebody
And I
that
think,
mindset.
yeah, and I think that's where a lot of the pettiness, kind of goes away. Like if you guys are working together towards the same goals,
Hmm.
you don't really have a lot of time for like the nonsense, half the time.
Right,
But that's not saying that there won't be any disagreements,
right, right,
There's gonna be there's gonna be there's no perfect relationships, But if you guys are working together on the same goal, that's gonna be very, impactful
right,
in what you're trying to do.
right, right, right. Man, so I really, really enjoyed chopping it up with you. Man, I really enjoy, you being able to kind of give us your perspective on things and kind of let us into your life, into your business. I really appreciate it. Um, I have a few last questions that I would like to ask. Um, and this is for young people. If you had anything to give to young people, the person who is just like you were at once upon a time, just graduated from high school, they're trying to decide if they should go to college or not, or should they start a business, or should they, go get all the information they need so that they can, what would you give that person? What kind of information, or how would you lead that person?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it, but the thing I would tell them is staying focused.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be focused because you're gonna have a lot of different distractions pulling you one way or the other, right?
Right,
So so you have to stay focused on what you're going after.
right,
That's that's the biggest thing, staying focused.
right.
And then just going after it, just going to go get it.
Absolutely.
Staying focused. And if you can find the right people, the right mentors,
Hmm.
they can cut the time in half because that's very important.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing you don't really get in colleges sometimes. For example, if you're taking business courses, right?
Hmm.
Some of the professors don't own businesses. So me personally, I'd rather spend that year mentoring for somebody like running a business so you get the hands-on experience. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like that learning curve can be cut in half, if you find the right people behind you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you don't have resources.
If you don't have resources, there's a lot of free information on the website. Go YouTube's, there's a bunch of podcasts, there's a bunch of if you could find basically anything on Google today.
Hmm.
So there's no excuse not to learn.
Hmm. Okay.
And also if you haven't, this is shameless plug, but this is one of my books about investing.
Go
I
ahead and
put
put it up.
everything that
Put it up so that they can
yeah,
see it. Put it up
yeah,
closer.
it's a
There you go. Out just a little bit.
yeah, it's investments, real estate versus stocks.
Hmm.
It's available on Amazon today. And also you can get the digital copy on my website. It's for anybody that want to start investing, especially if you're a beginner. It has all the information in there, that you need.
Now
But
I was,
not even go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Yeah, not even only my book, but there's a bunch of different books out there. And if you sign up to the newsletter on my website, you get weekly tips, to help you get in the best financial and health shape.
Hmm.
And in my blogs, I also put lists of other books that I recommend that you can read if you want to build your own business.
Thank you. Okay. So, you mentioned stocks. That book is about how to invest in stocks and stuff like that, and how they kind of get into that. I know personally for me, um, when you don't grow up knowing about stocks or anything like that, you're like, I don't know about that. I don't even know where to start. All this stuff look like gibberish. What would you say to that person?
Okay, they say you're like the five closest friends that you have, right?
Okay.
So that's where networking comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Networking and reading. Because I didn't learn a lot of stuff about investing. It wasn't really stuff I learned from school. Like,
Right.
like the people that are getting the results, like a lot of the new techniques that I'm learning is all from networking with different people that's, getting results. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's why it's important to network. You should never be satisfied and feel like you know everything, that you can stop learning.
Absolutely.
So every day I'm continuing, it's a never-ending process about learning every day in order to grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I really appreciate. I don't know how long I kept you. I know I told you I only wanted 30 minutes of your time, and I really appreciate you
Right.
lending us your time. I really appreciate you chopping up game, because we chop up game all the time. And so before we leave, I would like for you to let everybody know again what your name is, your business, and where they can pick up any of the products that you have available for them.
All right. Yeah, I want to thank you, for having me on your platform. I don't get on social media a lot, but I decided to do it today. Yep. My name is Chibuike Opara. My business is Opara's LLC, and it's about promoting financial and health wellness. And my website is oparas.com. You can sign up today for free, and you're going to be getting weekly tips to help you get in the best financial and health shape, And also check out some of the apparels we got on there. And also look out for something big that we're working on. I'm working with some artists right now to provide some lyrical content that will help empower our community, because I'm tired of the nonsense hip hop, like, that's just rapping about blowing your money. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So we need something that's going to help empower us. So that's why I started to build my business.
It's funny you say that, because I remember you one time saying how when you decide to start your business, how you had to kind of be frugal and save and make sure you didn't spend it.
Just a second. Somebody want me to spell the website. Is oparas.com, oparas.com.
And I'll also put it. I will also put the link in the comment section when we're done. I'll do that. So just look for the link in the comment section as well.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. So I was saying, I remember you saying how, like, when you decided to start your business, how, you had to be frugal. You had to, it was certain things that you wanted to buy, but you was like, no, I would rather have, be an entrepreneur. So
that's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Just how you have to exercise discipline?
Yeah, it's in life, In life, we all have to make sacrifices, In order to get something, you have to give something up. For example, if you want to get in shape, you may have to give up junk food or whatever, right? So if you want to be financially, successful or have your financial independence, that means, cutting off those things that aren't adding value to your life, Don't get me wrong. It's good to have those nice things. You can have those pair of Jordans and all that, right? But if you keep it in moderation, I think that's the key.
Right.
Buying stuff that you don't really need,
Right. Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you again. I really appreciate your time. And so, yeah, do you have any last words you want to say before we go ahead and end the podcast or broadcast?
Yeah, it was fun, It was fun.
I'm gonna have to have fun again.
Yeah. I'm thankful for you having me on your platform, and we should do this again other time.
I hate when people say platform, because I really don't think I just put a lot on Facebook. That's it. But thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. And again, I really appreciate you lending us your time. And hopefully you will, some people will go and check out your website and get signed up for the newsletters and whatever other services and other products you have. So I'm hoping that will happen, and I'll be in touch.
All right. Okay, and you'll have a great year.
You too.
All Bye-bye. Right.
We've got codes in different area codes. Area codes get on code. Get on code. In different area codes. Area code, stay on code. Stay on code. In different area codes. Area codes, we've got codes. We've got codes. In different area codes. Area codes, get on code. Get on code. In different area codes. Area code, stay on code. Stay on code. In different area codes. Area code, stay on code.